Good afternoon and welcome to Joy News. Today with me, Benis Abubedu. This is your election headquarters. Stay with the multimedia group for all the updates with regards to the elections on all our platforms, on radio, on TV and online. In today's headlines, staff of Electricity Company of Ghana lay down their tools to protest moves by government to privatize the company. We'll bring you the latest on this nationwide strike which began today. And scores of stranded would-be pilgrims at the Hajj village in Accra may not fulfill the ambition of traveling to Mecca this year as hopes elude them on the status of their flight so far. Mother of late ace gospel musician Nettie shares fondest memories of her son with Joy News ahead of his final funeral rites tomorrow here in Accra. There's more in business, entertainment, and in the world of sports. Please stay with us. The Public Utility Workers Union of ECG are beginning a nationwide strike this morning to protest what they describe as gross disrespect shown it by the Millennium Development Authority. They also talk of the lack of transparency and lack of trust with regards to moves to privatize the Electricity Company of Ghana. According to leadership of POOL, all staff across ECG operational areas are to report for work today, though no official duties will be carried out. This means for customers who will need prepaid credit or make payments for their postpaid meters, they may have to try some other time or make do with private vendors. My colleague Joseph Akable has been to some of the offices here in Accra to gauge the atmosphere and reports.
The red fabric that welcomes you to the Accra East office of the Electricity Company of Ghana if you are to come here this Friday morning. Workers here are of the view that they didn't reach any consensus in that meeting with the Millennium Development Authority, and as a result of that, they are still on strike. It's not just at this office, but it's across the country. Let's go in and let's have a look at the situation here. So right at the entrance, you can see the red fabric here. Some of the workers are on the compound. We understand they are having a meeting inside the office here. So we can come in now and have a look at the place now. Once you enter the Accra East office of the company, right above there you can see another red fabric that has the inscription "Stop ECG Concession." Stop ECG Concession. The main point that the workers of the Utilities Union have been making time again, talking about the fact that they are not happy about this concession agreement that the Millennium Development Authority is fronting for government. We understand a high-powered meeting is taking place at the Assembly Hall right inside at this particular end, at this entrance. We are told a meeting of the workers is taking place over there. So we'll be waiting for them to exit. They will then talk to some of them to find out exactly what they discussed, which services they are suspending today, and which services will be available for customers. Because for many customers, they are worried. They want to visit the centers. They want to have access. They want to report faults if need be, and they want it to be attended to. But it appears that is not going to be the situation. They are here on the compound. They are not working. They've laid down their tools. You can see them, some wearing red tops, others in red fabric as well. They are all standing here upstairs. The offices are all locked. They are not providing services. They are saying that they still have disagreements with government, and until those disagreements are addressed, the offices will remain closed as it is, and the workers are still on the compound. The workers, we understand today, are continuing with their strike action. I'm joined here by two of their leaders, and they'll be telling us exactly what today's action is about, which services they are suspending, and which ones will be available for customers. So let me first start with the chairman first. So sir, which services is available for customers today, and which ones are you suspending?
Yeah, the services available to customers is emergency. For instance, the hospitals, military installations, when they have faults, we attend to them. That is all. Apart from that, we are not working. We are not serving anybody.
So it means that when someone comes and he wants to pay his electricity bill, or he perhaps has a fault that he wants it to be attended to, that cannot be attended to?
For that one, we are looking at it, whether we should consider it, but as of now, we have not taken a decision on it.
So this is the customer service office of the Electricity Company of Ghana, the Accra East office. On a normal day, you come around and you expect that you should have some workers sitting behind those desks attending to customers who come in, but the desks are deserted. The office is empty. This section of the office is entirely empty. We can also look at other parts of the office. Right ahead of us is where people are supposed to pay their electricity bills. We can quickly see the security man just locking up the place. The main exit has been locked as well. That is the point where you exit and you also come into that part has just been locked. So this is the situation here at the Accra East office of the Electricity Company of Ghana. We'll be going on to check out the situation at other offices across the country as well.
Let's still stay in Accra. Scores of Muslims may not make it to Mecca this year, with about a few hours to the takeoff of the last flight. This comes as many of them remain stranded at the Hajj village here in Accra. Joy News' Ernest Kojomeni was there and reports.
We do know that the last flight will move on Saturday. However, there are hundreds of them still here who are stranded. Some of who tell me their hopes of getting to Mecca is fast fading. What is in their way of being airlifted to Mecca? Some have been here for as long as 10 days. Others are coming all the way from Tamale, from Kumasi, and they've been spending the days here. This has also interestingly taken a political twist, where some are accusing the Hajj board of facilitating the movement of some party people, some party supporters as well. Others are also calling for the dissolution of the Hajj board and asking government to take full control as far as the facilitation of the movement of Hajj pilgrims are concerned. Some are also demanding that their monies be refunded to them. They do no longer have interest in making the pilgrimage.
At least by 7 days here, and coming to spend about 5 days. What information are you giving from the board? Okay, the board, according to the board, they are saying that by the end of the last week, we will get to the last week. They still, because we are hearing that now last week, that now they are saying, my agent is saying that it's on the board. So I went to the board and I said, I'm here for the past 11 days now from Jonathan of and as at this now, as you see people are just lying stranded, they don't know what is happening. Frankly speaking, I'm highly disappointed in the Hajj board because the chairman per se, if it is his responsibility to come at least come us down and tell us what is happening in the office. Sometimes they tell us the case hasn't come, the business hasn't come, but we'll be shocked to hear that they are going for Turkey. We don't know where those businesses are coming from. People have hopes of making it. So now, most of some of us here are here to take the passport. I think that because there is a delay in the passport, we are taking our monies and go because we don't actually know what is happening in their offices. So for that, we are highly disappointed in them.
We are anticipating the last flight probably by tomorrow, and because we have already concluded with the Schedule 11 flight that was meant to airlift the quota that we have for this year, 5,424. So far, over 5,000 Ghanaian will-be pilgrims are currently in Saudi Arabia. So we believe that this is a great achievement, and we are still working very, very hard to consolidate this achievement. Last minutes are always chaotic. Last minutes are always a moment where you have those that will not be fortunate to travel, an agent who actually collect money from people and couldn't really make it possible, not because of the afford, maybe because of some problems regards to documentation and what have you, would come out and show that pain and show that.
Are you saying that the delay in payment of the monies as far as their travels are concerned is the reason why we have this situation?
No, but it is one of the key. Is one of the key elements of some of these challenges, because if you don't pay on time, you render the Hajj board powerless. Because the deadline was on the 15th of July, but because we cross-check our account and we realized that people have not paid, so we were pushed to the wall to sort of extend the date to 23rd, and the extension has really caused some of these challenges.
Now let's get the latest from my colleague Maxwell Agbaba, who is currently at the Hajj village here in Accra. Hello, Maxwell. Is there any hope for the stranded will-be pilgrims so far?
Well, Dennis, a lot of the pilgrims, prospective pilgrims here are skeptical about their moving out to Mecca to embark on the holy pilgrimage. What they tell me is that that since last week they've been getting assurance from authorities and some members of the Hajj board that they will be leaving the place very soon. But it looks like they're patient, they ran out of patience, saying that it looks very bleak for them now. So even though they're getting assurances from the Hajj board authorities, they think that it's not going to be possible for them. So a lot of them are very skeptical at this point. The information I gathered on the ground was that 11 flights have left Ghana so far, and I'm talking about the Kutuka National Airport, apart from the 4 flights that left the Tamale airport. I'm told that 11 flights have left so far. So a 12th, that's the last flight, that's a 12th flight, is expected to come and take the pilgrims that on the Monday, that's the coming Monday, they're expected to leave at exactly 3 o'clock a.m. But during my interactions with some of the pilgrims, they tell me that they're very skeptical about it. They think that it's not going to happen because they've been given assurances for a very long time. It looks like hope is fast waning for them. So what a lot of them on the ground are saying is that, look, they are tired of the frustrations, they are tired of the assurances being given them, and all they want right now is their money. Another woman I had interactions with tells me about the appalling conditions, living conditions of the police. There are about 800 pilgrims, I can make a guesstimation of about 800 pilgrims who are stranded there at this point, that they just have about 14 washrooms. And she says that it is terrible when you go to the washroom, and sometimes, I mean, it's repelling. You opening the door and even stepping inside, it's repelling enough. A lot of them have resorted to selling some of the items that we wanted to take along the pilgrimage. Some of them have started selling them in order to make money to buy food and other stuff, since a lot of them have changed their money is already from TVs to other currencies. We're in a situation right now on the ground, but there are some issues of, some political issues also going on. The political climate there is a bit, also high side. I had interactions with one gentleman who tells me that he thinks there's some kind of preferential treatment going on. And he mentioned the name of a political party. He says sometimes he's there and you hear from the loudspeakers, they mentioned the organizer for this political party, it's your time, you have to go on board the flights and all of that. He says for the ordinary people there, that's what he's alleged. He says for the ordinary people there, it's very difficult to get their name on the list in order for them to be elected to better. So in his own time, he's saying that he thinks that there's some kind of protocol list some of the authorities are dealing with. Now, in a counter reaction to that, there was another gentleman that I spoke to who tells me that he strongly believes that it is a ploy by some other members of another political party to paint the Mahama-led administration in a very bad light. So he thinks that it is just a strategy to get President Mahama into the bad books of, well-meaning President. So that's what is happening there, right? Besides getting some visuals, just to have some interactions with the people on the ground and get them on camera, but what happened was that the task force there made it very difficult for us. At the point, they came in and told us that we cannot continue engaging the Hajj pilgrims without leaving. What they did was that they escorted us from the Hajj village.
Thank you very much, Maxwell Agbaba. That was my colleague Maxwell Agbaba giving us updates from the Hajj village here in Accra. We continue with a citizen journalist report under the Joy News and Star Ghana project, Poverty and Politics. A citizen journalist, Samira Salifu from the Busa South constituency, is reporting on how the two leading parliamentary candidates for the area are using extra classes as a political tool to galvanize support and also improve the performance of BEC and WASI candidates in the constituency.
Pilgrims can be found in the Busa South constituency of Ghana. Results from the BEC and WASI of students in the constituency have not been the best. In a bid to improve the results of students in the constituency, parliamentary candidates for the Busa South constituency are using extra classes as a political tool to galvanize support and also improve the performance of students in the constituency. The parliamentary candidates for the National Democratic Congress organizes extra classes for junior high school students. His opponent from the PAC also organizes extra classes for students at the Fimbisi Senior High School and other areas. Mr. Oscar Anitorin is one of the facilitators for the extra classes program initiated by the incumbent Member of Parliament, Alasan Azon.
Gone are the days where people used not to like education, forgetting that education is the backbone of everything that we do in this world. So this man once upon a time thought of becoming a missionary. A missionary in what? Educating people. So God's willing, he contested to become an MP in 2008 and he was through. Maybe that was one of his prayers. So he was through. 2012 he was through. So 2010 he started organizing extra classes for his people and up to date. So this year he said no, although there are great changes in these extra classes, but they need to go an extra mile or two. Henceforth, he brought in a consultant from Gate in Accra to come down and take the people through techniques of effective reading, effective reading and how to pass well in what? Exams.
Asola Charles is the coordinator for the Dr. Apam vacation classes for Busa South.
As a result of the massive failure that has been witnessed in this particular district and constituency over the years from the basic education level, Dr. Park on his part and as an academician himself believed that when you want to build a house, you start with the foundation, and then starting at the basic level is the good way to go or the right way to go. The other thing is that in 5 years from now, we'll have 90% of the students who seek for this basic education get their school of choice to go. For instance, most people always want to go to a particular school of their choice, but because of the massive failure, they are not able to achieve this dream.
Florence Wahab, a beneficiary of the Dr. Clement Apam vacation classes, is excited about the initiative.
We thank them very much for this organization, and we are very happy. We learned about so many things. Topics that we are not able to cover them, they process all of them, and the other process many topics that we haven't learned. So we are very grateful.
David Awuni is a beneficiary of the incumbent MP Alasan Azan's extra classes program.
It's really helping us. We have to improve upon our studies. So most of our colleagues are on holidays, but it's just like we have not even been on vacations. We are still here learning. It's that we have not done problems. We still do want to learn. Instead of being the farm, we are here learning to help us towards our incoming examination.
Citizen Journalist Report by Salfi Samira. We support from Star Ghana.
This is Joy News Today with me, Benis Abubedi. We take a quick break. When we come back, there's more. Please stay with us. Latest news in election-related matters. Stay with the Joy News channel here on Multi TV. Now let's do some politics. The paramount chief of Bimbi traditional area, Yeram Bimbiwura Banbanga IV, has predicted a 53% victory for the New Patriotic Party in the December elections. According to the Bimbiwura, who is a former district chief executive for the East Gonja District Assembly in the Kufu administration, he sees victory coming the way of the NPP, looking through a crystal ball.
The crystal ball, I can see victory for NPP. I want to assure you, I'm still a friend, and you can always depend on me. You don't need to talk so much. God will do it for you, the same way He did it for me. As you always say, the battle is the Lord. And to advise is that tell the people of Ghana what you will do for them. And I hope the next time we meet like this, it will be His Excellency Anna Abudanka. I want us to go into this election in a peaceful manner and come out with it in a peaceful manner again. That we should come out in our numbers, go and vote, and I predict 53.something%.
Earlier in the day, the chief of Saboba, Sheikh Binali Beni Kambunja, denied media reports he had accused the MPP of doing nothing for the people of Saboba in the 8 years of Kufuor's reign. He appealed to Nana Addo to upgrade the health center in the area to a hospital status and construct the Oti Bridge.
We read on the net that I said something against the MPP government, which is quite untrue. I will never say anything against any political party because I will accept every presidential candidate. The CPC presidential candidate about this is Kenya, and he was welcome. President Mama was here, he was welcome. And we are expecting you to come so that we welcome you as you have done today. And you are here. So whatever news you have heard on the net or read on the net, it is not true.
Let's still stay on this issue. My colleague Martina Bugri has been following Nana Addo on his tour in the northern region of Ghana. Martina, where is Nana Akufo-Addo now?
Nana Akufo-Addo is in the central and the Yape-Kutogo constituency. This morning he visited the Dakema where he made some commitments. He said he committed to total peace in Dagon. He says the conflict that has existed over the years, he's not happy about it, and so when he comes to power, he will ensure that they bring lasting solutions to the conflict in Dagon. He also visited the Yapera a while ago, and the chief, Swale Al-Hassan, told him that they just live by the white holes, and yet they do not have potable water. He says the whole of the Kusogo traditional area, they do not have the secondary school. And so the MPP flag bearer should think of it. He says that he knows he's coming into power in December, and so he wants to lay his request before he comes to power. He also requested for a district for the area. In response, the MPP flag bearer said, it is disappointing that after several years, Ghana has not been able to resolve petty issues like solving water problems and other infrastructure. And so he reiterated his the infrastructure policy that they intend to bring. They're currently at a rally ground where he'll be addressing a mini rally in Yape, and then we move to Sokoto Junction for his next meeting with the community.
Thank you, Martina. That was my colleague Martina Bugri, who has been following the NPP's presidential candidate Nana Akufo-Addo on his tour in the northern region. Now let's move away from politics and the elections. A paternity controversy over a 2.5-year-old child has become the most talked about subject in Kumasi as three men battle to claim ownership. One of the three men, Isaac Che Bafo, who is a fresh university graduate, is accusing the mother of the child in question of deliberately pitching him against the other two men for her personal gains. Isaac Che Bafo says he took responsibility for the pregnancy the moment his girlfriend, Martha, informed him that she was pregnant for him and has since been providing for the boy's upkeep. Joy News' Chrissy Deborah has more in this report.
Isaac says though a friend hinted him the lady had become pregnant, she herself never told him about it until when he was on national service in the Volta region. He says following a phone conversation, Martha visited him and told him he is the father of her child. She couldn't work with the money I gave her, and I told her I can't marry her. A year after accepting the responsibility for the 2.5-year-old baby boy, the woman backtracked and named two other people as being responsible for the child. Isaac is particularly worried his own friend is involved. Isaac is also worried about the investment he has made in the child. I used my national service allowance and the contract I had to cater for the child. I couldn't spend it on my family. Martha would not respond to phone calls for comment on the issue, but audio recording available to Joy News suggests she is unsure which of the three men got her pregnant.
I'll be a liar if I tell you I know the father of the
child. According to Martha, she had sexual encounters with all the 3 men in 1 month. For Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
Moving away from that, mother of late gospel musician Nettie has been recounting the last days of her son on earth to Joy News ahead of his final funeral rites scheduled for tomorrow, Saturday, September 3, at the forecourt of the State House here in Accra. In her first public interview after the demise of Nettie, Madam Beatrice Nettie said she's still in a state of shock while describing circumstances that led to his death. She has been speaking to my colleague Derek Okosam, who was at the family's residence in Accra for the final meeting.
We are the family residents of the late Minister Nettie. He passed away in July this year. On the 3rd of September, the family would hold the final funeral rites and find a final resting place for him. We'll get into all of that, but before that, let me speak to Veronica Apieje, Mrs., and then his mother, Beatrice Nettie. So, the reports have it that you saw him lying lifeless in his room. How true are these reports?
It's true. We met at the washroom, and then he told me he's okay at the other side. So he walked into the room. I was following the veranda, and I heard unusual sound. So I rushed to the room and called him. He didn't respond. So I said, what's happening to my son? So I called the sister, Veronica, and her husband, and they all came around, and then we pick him, take him to the Kolebu emergency. So as the situation is, the doctor came to the car. After examining him, he told us that I've lost my son. But prior to that, we called a family doctor, his friend, the doctor. So he also came around, and then he said the same thing. So we have to move to the mortuary. So the doctor helped us to the mortuary. But as the thing is so sudden, he doesn't want to believe that Danny is gone. So he told the mortuary people to don't put him in the fridge. They should wait. So according to the doctor, he's monitoring him. When you go for a while, you can see whether there's a sign that Danny will come around. So I can't stand it. I can't stand that as a mother, because I talked to him barely. The time is not even 5 minutes, and then I think maybe the sound that I heard was his last breath, because it came out very loudly twice. I'll come back to you. Let me speak to Auntie Vero, as they call her here. Did you see him before he passed away?
No, when I went to my mom's place, he was unconscious at the time. So we didn't talk or anything like that.
But what are your fondest memories of the late minister?
He would line us up and we would have sticks and loud things as microphones. Everybody with their part, and then he will be in the lead, and he will be singing.
What songs did he usually sing?
Anything at all. His compositions.
Like which of them? I don't sing one of them.
I don't think I can do that.
Did he have any cases of high blood pressure or anything?
Well, he knew he had that, and he was taking medication for it. So I didn't say it was a lack of neglect or that he didn't know. He knew, and he was taking medication. So
very troubling times. But what really are your fondest memories of the late Nettie as his mother?
Danny has a very good remembrance. He can tell you some things that have passed, maybe even you have forgotten it. But as a child, Danny, the way that how he came to know the Lord is from his infancy. I remember very well, as his form, Danny was very brilliant. So we were talking, maybe he's a science student, so maybe he will continue. Then suddenly Danny said he's going to do music. I said, how can you do music like that? What benefit will he get from that? So I remember very well, I asked his uncle to come and talk to him, and still he cannot change his mind. So we have to leave him like that. So that's how it happened that he started singing his songs.
What would you miss about him?
What I remember about him?
What will you miss him for?
Oh, a lot. Because anytime we meet, when I call Danny, the blue man has come. Do you know the blue man? That electricity, when I say the blue man, when you laugh, Mama, you are afraid of this man, it's okay. He fix it. Danny loved me. That's the relationship between a mother and a son. So I can't stand what is going on, but I have to.
Minister Nettie was also a colleague here, and he was a staff of the multimedia group. He hosted Worship Zone on Joy FM on Sundays. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Tonight at 6 p.m., his friends and colleagues are organizing a tribute concert at the forecourt of the State House. On this note, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Emmanuel Abajiriaf is standing by with the latest updates in the world of business. Please don't go away.
Hello again, good afternoon and welcome to Business. Chief Executive Officer of the Volta River Authority, Kirk Kofi, says one of the surest ways of addressing the huge debts in the energy sector is by ensuring that consumers pay realistic tariffs. Finance Minister on Wednesday outlined new arrangements to clear the country's energy sector debts over a period of 5 years. But Mr. Kofi says we should also consider the tariff regimes.
The right tariff must be paid for water, for electricity, for whatever. You need to pay the right tariff to survive. If you don't pay the right tariff, then somebody should be prepared to subsidize. Subsidy is not something which is sustainable. And from what we see now, this structure is to take care of the bad debt, is the debt. Going forward, with the PRC involvement in trying to structure so that we have this automatic adjustment and have the right tariff, I hope we should be able to be on the right track. So these are things that I think we've learned our lessons. We're not shedding load now. Things are okay. Generations on board. We know we have to make sure we sustain it. And that's the essence of all this.
Talk about not shedding load. Our turbo gas is down. Are you worried or everything is under control?
I'm not worried because we've planned for it. It's down for maintenance. It's not down as a result of a forced outage. This is planned. I was aware that it was going to be down for a month now. They are down for a plan maintenance. We also go down for plan maintenance. So it's down for a week. That's what it said. We are putting adequate preparation to make sure that the impact of the outage of our turbo is minimized. So that's what we'll be working on. I think I talked to you yesterday on that.
Your plans, are they solid? Are they working? Are we going to generate more power despite this 250 going down for Mary?
Mary is generating close to 200 at times. Where today that goes down. We should be able to manage all things being equal. Well, as I said, Asoglo is already down because we're not getting gas from Nigeria, but nobody heard of that. Asoglo was down with about 200 megawatts. Nobody heard of that. So we have plans in place to make sure when one area goes down, we're able to manage. Luckily, we started raining. We're getting some good input from Ivory Coast, and we should be able to sustain. Bear in mind that 1 week is short. 2 days and we're in a weekend when the load is reduced, and then 3 other days then we are over. So this thing should think that we can assure that we do everything possible, barring any unforeseen circumstances, we should be able to manage it.
Away from that, the country's total earnings from non-traditional exports went up marginally last year. According to estimates by the Ghana Export Promotional Authority, Ghana got $2.52 billion in 2015. There's more in the following report.
Non-traditional exports of those other commodities and services that the country exports, apart from gold, cocoa, timber and electricity, the 2.5 billion cedis secured represents a marginal increase over the 2014 earnings. The report showed that the marginal increase was fueled by the growth in agricultural product exports, especially cashew. The number of countries that Ghana exported its products to also went down marginally to 137. The EU was the leading region that Ghana exported its non-traditional produce, followed by countries in the ECOWAS region.
And that's it for now, but for more business news, join me at 1 p.m. on The Marketplace. My name is Emmanuel Apuaji Riafi. Up next is sports.
Well, we still your news today. My name is Benedict. We'll do some sports and we'll start from the camp of the Black Stars because they are preparing for the game against Rwanda, and their captain Asamoah Gyan has called on the Sports Ministry and the Ghana Football Association to cease fire and collaborate well to help their cause of winning next year's AFCON title. Now, Gyan, who admits he has heard what is going on between the two outfits but yet to speak to authorities, wants peace to prevail.
When we call a team, it's all about unity. But you know, we players, we are those on the field. You know, if we don't get the support from outside, you know, it doesn't motivate us. You know, I'm being honest, it doesn't motivate us from my experience in the game. But there are things going on. I don't know how far true the thing is. You know, sometimes there are speculations and stuff, but I don't know the exact details because nobody tells me anything, you know, so sometimes I need to just go face to face and then ask what is going on to know the details. But for now, I don't know the relationship between, although we've been hearing rumors and news and stuff, you know, I just need to find out from both sides, and then we can sit down and talk about the problems going on in the team.
Now, Black Stars coach Avram Grant shares the sentiments of Asamoah Gyan. For the Israeli trainer, he fears there could be a repeat of Brazil 2014. That's the fiasco that happened in Brazil if the Ghana FA and Sports Ministry continue to have a go at each other.
To wait to the last moment to solve problems. There is problems. Not everything is going well. Sometimes there is problem with money, sometimes there is other problem. Don't wait for the last moment. We can have a meeting 1 month before. This is the problem, how we solve it. If we wait until the last moment, what's happened in the World Cup will come again. Our warning, I will not let it happen, but it will come again if we wait for it. You remember what happened in the World Cup last moment. Until now, I didn't let it happen, but every game it's come again and again. There is some problem, issue with money, issue with this. And it doesn't matter for me who is right for the moment. The only thing, we will lose from it. We lose it, like we said, the operation will go well, but the patient will die. We don't want this.
So that was Black Stars coach Avram Grant. Now, Ghana will take on Rwanda in their 2017 AFCON final qualifier tomorrow at the Accra Stadium. Now, the team will hold their last training session this afternoon ahead of the game, which for many is a mere formality considering the fact that Ghana qualified ahead of time. So that game is at the Accra Stadium, and on our screens you can see the matches that will be played this weekend. 6 places are for grabs in this weekend's final day matches of the qualifiers. Now the 6 places will consist of winners of the following undecided groups, as in Group A, B, C and D, and I plus the 2 best runner-ups of all the groups, with the exception of groups G and I. Now, former national under-20 coach Celastete could qualify Sierra Leone to the Nations Cup for the very first time in their 20 years of football history if they can beat Ivory Coast in the final qualifier. Now, at least a draw will be enough for Cote d'Ivoire to make qualification to the next to the competition and defend the title they won at the last edition of the tournament when they defeated the Black Stars on penalties. And Uganda are just a win away from breaking that jinx as they face Comoros in Group D. That game will be played on Sunday. On your screens you can see all the matches that will be played in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers Saturday, which is tomorrow, and Sunday. So that's how we end sports. But remember, the MTN FA Cup final is on this Sunday at the Cape Coast Stadium. It's between Oko United and Bichi United. So if you happen to be in Cape Coast, Takrady, or even here in Accra, you can make your way to the Cape Coast Stadium, because the Black Stars game actually is tomorrow at the Accra Stadium, 3:30. After that, you can catch a bus to the Cape Coast Stadium and watch the MTN FA Cup final involving Oko United and Bichi United. My name is Benedict Osu. The news continues after the short break.
Well, still on GN today, it's time now for us to have a beautiful convo in the world of entertainment. And looking at the world of entertainment now, contemporary gospel artist Joe Metal has been weighing on whether gospel genre is business or a calling. Well, not too long ago, his female counterpart Gift Yosei made the revelation that though she is a gospel artist, she is doing showbiz. Joe Metal says it's okay to think about the business side of the genre, but should also remember their calling.
There is the calling aspect. There are times that there's the business aspect. Obviously, you do songs, you sign contracts. There are copyright laws that governs the songs that you write. These are not ministry; they are business. If you don't understand what these things are, it's church, obviously, but it's played on the radio stations. You need to collect royalties. There are events you do, they sign contract, they expect you sign back the contract and move according to the rules and the terms on the contract. And so all these things are business. You sell CDs, and if you're selling CDs, you expect to be paid. It's business. And so there's the ministerial aspect, which is what God wants to do through the songs as you produce them. Obviously, you don't produce them with the money in mind, but as it blesses the people, you are paid for it, and so that makes it a business.
So there's nothing wrong when a gospel artist should admit the fact that yes, I'm doing show business.
Oh, obviously there is, but bear in mind that there's a thin line between the two. If you don't take care, you might miss the purpose for which you're doing it. The fact that there's a business aspect does not mean you should lose sight of why you're in it in the first place.
Well, tonight he's going to be on stage for the tribute concert to Danny Nettie at the forecourt of the State House, and is performing alongside Koda, Pastor Joe Beecham, and you can think of all the contemporary gospel artists. Now, moving away from that, controversial dancehall act Shatta Wale arrived in the country yesterday in the evening after a successful show in London. Well, he arrived to a joyful welcome from family, friends, and the media. Well, we spoke to him, and he shares his experience with us.
Shatta Wale come like a kite. We come to them like some black guy. Shatta Wale come like a kite. Forever and ever, I'll be a soldier. Forever and ever.
Home.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
So much now for people.
Yeah,
how do you feel?
You know what? My friends are my life, so anytime I see them like this, I feel good, man. I just want to tell them I love them more, man, for the support, man. Yeah, I'm surprised though, but I love them, man.
Okay. The news is all out. Your concert was sold out, and we want to hear it from you yourself, the horse's own mouth. How did it go?
Well, I feel the show went well because Akwaba UK, really put up a platform that no Ghanaian promoter in the UK has ever done.
Well, reacting to his rival Samini's commendation on his successful show, this is what Shatta Wale had to say. We are also sorry we couldn't bring you that footage, but we'll bring it in our subsequent bulletin. The name is Ibrahim Ben Bako. You're still here on Joy News, and have a good afternoon.
Thanks for your company on this edition of Joy News today. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Benis Abubedu. Up next is the Marketplace.